We're back with another episode of Biz Mindz, and on this episode we have Rick, the owner of MKTB and The Trap.
Yes, sir.
Rick, thank you for your time today.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Tell us a little bit about, first let's start with your upbringing a little bit, where you grew up, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah. I was born and raised right here in Naples, and it's hard and rare to find people that are born and raised in Naples, and especially proud of being born and raised in Naples, but I am, and I moved away after high school, played ball for a little bit, a couple different spots, a couple different places. I ran a personal training company out in Seattle, ran one in Dallas, did some work with some celebrities in Atlanta, spent some time in Tallahassee training sorority girls and fraternity boys, and kind of all circled back to bringing me here. It was all kind of a training ground and learning experience to get back to home.
Yeah. And when you came back to Naples, what did you want to do? Did you want to, because I know you had the personal training out in Seattle,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And was it hard to transition from Seattle to Naples and build a clientele, or what was that like for you?
It was hard at first because it was going to require a lot of humility. So when I came back to Naples, I actually took a job at LA Fitness, and I worked there for 6 months. I didn't get a haircut for 6 months. I didn't talk to a girl for 6 months. I didn't go out for 6 months. I didn't do anything for 6 months. I just sat down and focused on my craft again. And I'd already been doing it for 6 years. So it was really, really humbling to step back there and walk into a place and have somebody showing you how to give a training session and showing you how to use a machine at the gym. And you have to just sit there and stay quiet and kind of just take in that whole experience and learn from everybody at every level. Even if you feel like you're further along than somebody, they can always teach you something.
Yeah. And what was the transition from LA to, you build up your clientele?
So it ended up hitting for me and kind of all coming together because of LA Fitness. So I would be hanging out at the gym. I wasn't training there much. I was just kind of taking clients as they came. Wasn't trying to get a full book or anything like that. I was just really in there to practice. So I would walk around in my dead time and pull people off the floor. And most dudes, when you go pull them off the floor, they're apprehensive. They know what they're doing. They don't want to come work out with you. But girls usually, especially when you tell them, about glutes and legs, and now you got their whole entire attention and they're going to give you an hour of their time. They'll come over there and work out with you, and then you change their entire life all of a sudden in one workout. They give you that look. I've trained my glutes 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, different ways, different people, different Instagram girls I follow, try different things, and I never feel anything. And then when you give them that feeling in your first session, you lock them in. So I was noticing that I was doing that at such a rapid rate and at such a consistent rate that I was like, I need to make this my niche and make this my thing. Kind of right around COVID time, I was the only person in the city that was training people for the first week. I took a lot of crap from a lot of people. I kept my mask on. I kept my gloves on. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know anything about it. But I kept doing sessions because people mentally needed that.
Yeah.
So most of it was women at the time. They were like, I got to get off my couch. I got to get away from the kids. So we're training in the driveway. I'm as far as Tatum is from us right now, from them training them. And that look on their face after that hour said a lot. And then they pass it to their friend. And then they pass it to their friend. And they pass it to their friend. So by the time I've got a full book, now it's all women. And it's 10 to 12 women. And now I had to start branching out to group lessons and getting more people in because I just don't have the time in the day. So that was kind of what it all came together. Once you find 1 or 2 people, they all start to kind of spread it for you.
How old were you at the time?
2019. So I was 25. Yeah, 26.
26.
Turning 26.
Okay. And was it, what do you think are some hurdles, like, niching down for, women clientele, tailoring to women? What are the hurdles to get over?
Well, one of the first ones is, why is a woman going to believe that you know what to do with a woman's body? First off, it's like you got big biceps, you got a big chest, you got a big back, but why do I trust you to build my butt or to build my legs? So that really comes down to what you study, what you read, where you get it from, and then just repetition. I've trained thousands and thousands and thousands of sessions, and probably 500 to 700 of those were completely for free. So that was when I was learning, and that was when I was seeing what worked, what didn't work, getting rid of certain things and kind of just fine tuning it. And once you got it fine tuned, you try it a couple times with people from 18 to 65 and you see it work for all of them and you just tailor it a little bit differently and you're like, okay, I got it. it's where it needs to be.
Yeah. What did the other trainers say when they saw like you?
Well, of course it was
because that's going against the norm, right? He just wants
to sleep with the girls. You know what I'm saying? So that was the hardest hurdle for me. It was all those rumors, all that speculation of what I'm doing it for, and kind of not letting that make me fold. You know, that was important to me. I was like, you can say what you want to say about me, but if you go ask the clients, if I ever came on to them, if I ever made them uncomfortable, absolutely not. That's why they go refer me to their friends. That's why they tell their friends, no, you got to come see it. You got to come check it out. He's completely cool. And he's the best at what he does.
Mm-hmm. And all right, so that's what why the name, why the name The Trap? And also after that question, let's get a little bit into the product that you have also.
So The Trap kind of ran hand in hand just with my whole image. And how people perceive me. So I've got dreadlocks, I've got a face tattoo, got tattoos all over my body. But I walk into Fifth Avenue and sit down at the bar, and I'm talking to you about my training business, and you're looking at me and you give me that same respect you would give anybody in any boardroom. Mm-hmm. And that was never it growing up for me. That came with confidence, that came with comfortability in your own skin, and that kind of segued me into wanting to create an alternative for kids that look like me, for kids that might get written off or people assume a certain thing. He's got to be a criminal, he's got to be a thug, he's got to be this or that. So The Trap is exactly that. The Trap has such a negative stigma, it has such a, it's crime. You're doing something wrong, you're doing something bad, but really a lot of people are stuck in the trap, and that's what it is. You're born into that. You're born into that environment. You're born into seeing those things. So I was living in these cities with these kids that they had no choice. That's just all they knew. So now if I create that for the next generation and show them that the trap is something positive, we're in the gym. When we say we're in the trap, we're in the gym. And we're moving weight inside of the gym. So that's going to be the slogans and the T-shirts and all that stuff to market it as, I'm giving you the other way. I'm showing you that despite the odds, despite growing up in Section 8 housing, despite growing up with a single mom, you can become whatever you want to become, and you can launch businesses and you could take over the world.
Yeah. No, I love that, man. And then so you're doing the personal training, group training too, as well. And then you decide to go the product route, right? So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of my own frustration and being sick and tired of all the resistance bands that are on the market. Some women use fabric bands that are a little bit too big and don't really let you get the job done. Some use elastic bands and they roll and break, and the heat can ruin them and stuff like that. So I was sick of spending $30 every month on a new pack and telling my clients to spend $30 on a new pack. And I was like, there's got to be something I could do about it. So I tapped in with some manufacturers and kind of combined the two and got the right size and got the right look, and then started selling those, and they needed a name. So I wasn't just going to put The Trap on the bands. I wasn't going to put Slick Certified on the bands. I didn't want it to be kind of oversaturating anything I was already doing. So MKTB came about kind of where I was at in life, and I was reading a book called The Alchemist, and the word maktub is the biggest word in the book and kind of a reoccurring theme, and it repeats itself and repeats itself. So MKTB really isn't an acronym for anything. It's just maktub, and I removed the A and the U.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
What's maktub like?
Yeah, maktub. So Paulo Coelho says it in the book, like after something good happens and after something bad happens. So that's why it's so prevalent, because the book is it's a fictional book, but it's kind of how you relate your life to it, your journey, your legend is what it's called. You're chasing your legend. So maktub means it is written, or it means kind of your fate or your destiny. So whether something good happens to me or bad happened to me, I look up and say maktub because I'm thankful for it. Regardless, it's going to either make me great or it's going to make me feel great, and I'm going to keep going at it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think business is for everybody?
I think business can be for everybody. I think that business is something that helps you figure out who you really are. So if getting money is your goal, then business isn't for everybody. But if experience, if learning, if growing, if inspiring people is important to you, then business is awesome. Even if it's a side hustle, even if you've got something small, just seeing yourself take that risk and take that chance on yourself and growing and failing and growing and failing, that can make you a better man or a better woman for the rest of your life. And whether you have another job that you're doing and you're dedicating it all, you're working your way up the boards, you're CEO of some big company, that's fine. But that little business experience gave you that happiness and that peace that you were chasing your purpose, and that's important.
Yeah. What do you think's the biggest difference in business from service? Because you have two businesses,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And one is service and one is product. So what do you feel is the biggest difference?
Yeah, service is tough because it's so kind of convoluted and it's so reliant on somebody's opinion of what you do. Whereas the product is just, if you've got clean, for example, my leggings, they're completely clean. No azo dyes, no BFAs, no this, no that. I just tell you that and let you try them on. And the girl looks in the mirror and says, oh my gosh, I've never looked this good before. I don't got to say anything after that. You bought it. Training, I can give you the best workout of your life. And Joe Schmo down the road is going to see you at a kava bar and he's going to tell you, oh, I saw the video your trainer posted. You're going to hurt your knee that way. You shouldn't be squatting that heavy. You shouldn't be doing this. He don't know what he's doing. He don't know what he's talking about. But now she's afraid and she's not coming back. Mm-hmm. So I used to chase him down. No. Let me prove it to you. Let me show you. Forget that. Keep going, because now there's an opportunity for another person. Come in, check them out, change their life. And that's the tough part about service, is because you always have to find another person. With product, you can find 700 customers and sell 700 products, and I'm making that sale every single time to those same 700 people. Mm-hmm. I don't have to grow it.
Mm-hmm. Any hurdles that you see though with product, or that have you came across any hurdles?
Oversaturation. That's a huge hurdle. So why should I buy leggings from you? Why those and not Lululemon? Why those and not the other local brand in town or something, you know? And that comes from putting in the overnight hours of meeting with people in China and Pakistan and India and not sleeping until you found the perfect product. And there's millions and millions and millions of products to choose from. And if you're not putting that same effort into finding the best one, then you're not going to hit.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy how important brand is to product? Branding
is everything. So speaking of branding, this is it's a paid ad right now. This is from 239 Nutrition, and it's a metabolism boosting tea.
Yeah.
So as I drink that, I'm getting in shape.
I was looking at it. It looks like a good drink.
It is, and there's actually, I don't tell people this regularly because people make fun of me, but I drink boba on the bottom too. I add a little bit of boba to the bottom, the little popping bubbles. So it's
a local company?
Yeah, it's right down the road from you guys here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's in the kind of industrial park area. It's 2069 Pine Ridge Road.
Yeah, at the beginning of the interview, I was going to tell you to put it here if you want.
Yeah,
but then
I can put it here now. No, I got my money now. You're good. You're good. I can take it down now.
No, you're good, man.
But
no problem. Yeah,
branding.
We don't care about that.
Yeah, I saw the logo and I was like, yeah, great. Yeah.
So
we actually think the opposite.
Okay, yeah.
Like if you have one of these and then you have a logo and we're supporting somebody, doesn't have to be paid.
Yeah.
You're supporting somebody and you're helping somebody.
And when I wasn't even going to talk about it this in depth, but when I say paid, I'm paying myself because this company they sell a supplement line called Herbalife. And Herbalife gives you the opportunity to be your own boss from home, and you can order supplements. And so I sell those to my clients. I get my clients on those as well.
Yeah.
So thank you for that opportunity to talk about that. But branding's important because it's everything. It's the first 3 years. That's all I focused on. I didn't pay a single dollar on advertisement. I didn't pay anybody to post for me. I didn't pay anybody to come take part in the photo shoot, anything like that. No pop-up shops, no anything like that. I just kind of really beat people over the head with MKTB. You knew what it was. You saw it. People text me all the time. I'm at the mall. I saw your logo go across the room. I'm at Bed Bath & Beyond. I saw your logo go across the room. I even made little temporary tattoos, and people are putting MKTB on their babies and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's people don't even know what it is. People don't have they didn't buy a product. They didn't buy anything, but they see that MKTB and they know, oh man, that's that Rick guy. That's what he does. That's his thing. So I read that branding yourself is more important than selling, really. So if you get the brand down and you get people liking your brand, I could sell cable next week and people are going to buy it because it's Slick certified cable. You know what I mean? And they love what you do and who you are. And that's what you need to get across to people.
Yeah. And you got the social channels now where, you get some good people behind your product, it could take off.
Absolutely. So. And that's where I'm at now. I kind of just laid back, dialed everything back, and just really got my focus on, get my creativity going, make sure everything is trendy, everything looks good, everything is kind of aesthetically appealing, and then we're just going to hit it hard.
Yeah. What does the future look like in your mind, in the next 5 years for your companies?
Big. With the trap, I think that by then I'll have a freestanding location. And I say that so kind of waveringly, I guess I would say, because I thought I was going to open a gym in 2020. I thought I was going to open a gym in 2016. Then things start to happen and they fall into place, and you get there and the door opens and you're like, I'm not ready to go through that door. So I'm not in a rush there, but I've always told myself I wanted to get it by the time I'm 35, and I turned 30 this summer. So I will say that, and I'll set that as a goal. MKTB by then is going to be ginormous. Hopefully have a location, whether it's my own freestanding location here or partnering with another business and getting it inside there. I have my line in a lot of lash studios in town and hair salons, and I've got them in gyms in New York. I've got them in gyms in California. So finding the right place to kind of put it all out here and give kids a chance to work that are kind of less fortunate, can't make ends meet, do things like that, give them an opportunity to make some easy money and stuff like that. So that's important to me to do.
Yeah, I love it, man. What question you got?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, you read my mind.
Put you on the spot.
No.
I like to check. If everybody's tuned in.
Yeah.
No, what do you think when you first started in business? Do you think it was it easy to transition from maybe a 9-to-5 to business, or you had it in you?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough because everybody around you is watching you be broke as heck, and they're telling you need to go get a job, you need to go do this, you need to get a second job. My mom's calling me all the time. I'm like, Mom, can you send me $20 so I can get some food today? And she's like, you should go be a waiter, you should go do this. I'm like, look, Mom, as soon as I start making money waiting tables and doing all that, I ain't putting the work into training that I'm doing right now. I promise. I'm going to just be making money. Why would I ever put work into something that's not paying me if I've got a job that's paying me? So luckily, I was out there chasing the football grind for a little bit. I was going to tryouts and trying to get back healthy. I had 2 big knee surgeries. And during that time, I really started to pour into training because it was the first time that I ever thought of doing anything else but playing in the NFL or but being a professional athlete. So during that time, it was kind of always like a side hustle. Training was always a side hustle. Clothing is always a side hustle. All that stuff is a side hustle because my goal was to play football professionally or basically to be paid for my, kind of like how an influencer is now. I was like the influencers that influenced influencers now. You know what I mean? Like back then it was, you were linking up with companies. I was getting paid to do little commercials or little ads or little this. So I was kind of happy with that, just with my own working out. Because if it's not going to work for football, at least it's getting me paid somehow. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't until I started to look at training in itself and realize, hey, I could put all my eggs in this basket right now. And the first 10, 12 years of it is going to be really hard and really stressful. But after 12 years, I'm going to have the peace, I'm going to have the control of my schedule, and I'm going to have the money that I don't have to answer to anybody about. And that's important to me. So it all kind of segues to that. And that's where your goal is.
How important is money to you?
Not important at all. If I didn't have to pay bills or anything, I'd give away all my money every single day. And I do that every Christmas. Didn't do it to be on the news, but they posted it on the news. I don't even record it. I don't take videos. I don't do anything, but people, word of mouth gets around and stuff. So we do a drive every single year around Christmas time. And I get a little bit of money from my clients. I put a lot of money in out of my own pocket and take anywhere from 10 to the most we've taken is 22 kids Christmas shopping.
Oh.
And we go to Target, and how it started before it got so big and people saw the surprise and the unveiling is I set it up to where these kids thought they were shopping, and they're already kind of very, very poverty level lines, single parent households, most of them, like I grew up in. Some of them don't even know where their next meal's coming type of kids. And I told them that they were coming in to shop for kids in an orphanage in a different country. Yeah. And I said, shop for the kid as if they're your age, shop for the kid as if they like what you like, and help me get the toys for them. And I wanted to see what these kids' hearts were. You know what I mean? And because I knew when I grew up with nothing that I still would give whatever I got to whoever. And hearing these kids pick things out for the other kids and telling me, like, they're going to have the best Christmas ever. This is so awesome. I asked one little kid, 8 years old. He actually struggles with seizures. I didn't even know any of this stuff at the time when I was dealing with him and talking to him. It all came up on the news when they interviewed the mom, but she lost her job, couldn't pay for his medication anymore, all this kind of stuff. And I asked the kid, I said, he's kind of sitting there shy and he doesn't want to go shopping. I said, man, go pick out a toy. Like, pretend it's for a kid and you pick out anything that you want in the whole store. What would you get them? And he just sat there blank. And I said, okay, let me make this easier. I said, what would you get? If you can get anything for Christmas, what would you get? And he said, I would get some more plates and forks from my mom's house. And that rocked me to my core because I was like, man, that was me. That was what I grew up like. So I made it a point every single Christmas after that. And since then, so we've done it 3 years in a row, to put a little bit of money together and take those kids and make their Christmas special, but also watch those kids kind of have hope and have belief. You know what I mean? And that's important, is they've never had a lucky Christmas or a lucky this or a lucky that. So when you show somebody love, and especially at that age, they translated that as luck. So I got a tattoo right behind my ear. It's a shape of a 4-leaf clover, but it's 4 hearts that make it. And one day when I start the foundation, it's love is luck. And that's what it is. It looks like luck. Those kids, like, this is the luckiest day ever. But it was really just us showing love.
Damn. And
Wow.
I love that story. You didn't grow up with money?
Nah, dude.
No.
Less than money. My mom.
And your answer was money's not important?
At all.
Wow, really?
At all. Because.
Well, is it motivating to you or no?
It's motivating to me because I know what I can do with it when I have it. Yeah. So I know what my vision is to make a difference and to do things, and I can't do that without money.
So it becomes important.
Exactly. So it's basically a non-negotiable. Like, I have to get that. Yeah. Otherwise, we don't accomplish what the goal is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because that's what I feel like. We grew up, the same way. And to me, like, money's super important just because of what could be done with it.
Exactly. You know yeah. So you're exactly right. It is truly important, but it doesn't matter to me, is what I should say.
Yeah. It's one of those double-edged swords, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And every time we ask the question, everybody says at the beginning no, but then we...
Bro, I feel like money has been marketed and branded like it's a bad...
So when I say it, it's because so many people make that their identity. Yeah. So many people walk in a room and think that they're the man in the room because they got the most money.
Yeah.
And you're not. It has nothing to do with money, because everybody got money different ways. Some people really grinded for the money. Some people woke up when they were 18 and had a bunch of money, especially growing up around here. So I had to stop letting money be the metric of you're successful. That couldn't be it for me, because I'm working from behind the 8 ball. My mom stayed as a preschool teacher to take care of me and my sisters, make sure we're getting to practice, make sure she's off in the summers, that we're not chilling by ourselves. She's making $13,000 a year, taking care of herself and 3 kids. You can't survive like that. You can't live like that. So she did. There was times we went through the drive-thru to get stuff from the dollar menu, and she didn't eat. And you don't really know why as a kid, but
and you notice that growing up.
You see it, and you think it's, especially at McDonald's, it's like, oh, she's not eating because she doesn't want to eat unhealthy or something like that. But no, she's not eating because she can't eat. It's that last $5 went to you and your sisters, and a lifetime of that. And it was hard, especially for me, because I went to First Baptist Academy. I was on a sports scholarship. Like, people were paying for everything that I did there. It felt like it's because they loved you at the time, but no, it's because you're a heck of an athlete, and they're gonna make sure that their school wins games and do that. But I'm pulling up in a station wagon, and kids are clowning you at practice because they got Benzes and BMWs and Audis and stuff. And you want to tee off.
Where's that school? Is that
it's right there? It's on here? Livingston Road. It's that big, humongous church, and they got the school there.
And you had a scholarship there.
Yeah, back I'm talking about since like 6th grade. They found somebody to cover that. They found somebody to make sure it was paid in full.
Does it feel like it's not? Because when you play, I feel like, because the same thing with us. When we grew up, we were scholarship, like, ever since probably like 12 years old until we finished playing. And it kind of feels like at that age, because you're aware of it, it's almost like it feels like you're not playing for fun
Exactly.
anymore. It kind of feels like you have a pressure of
it's a job.
performing, right? Because
Yeah,
then what happens to that scholarship or the things that you're getting helped
and
out with?
especially in my mom's case, it was, I'm not going to 3 different schools in the morning. So if you take him, you got to take the sisters too. You got to find a budget to take 3 kids to school.
Oh shit! So you had that.
Yeah. So that all was the eye opener for me. When I knew that I could still walk around with my chest up, going through all the stuff I went through over there, I was like, dude, money, that's when I realized it's like, it doesn't make you who you are, but it obviously opens the doors to do some amazing things and change people's life. But I'm not ever going to look at you and feel insecure about myself because you got more money than me. I'll feel motivated. I'll feel inspired. I'll ask you how you did it. I can always learn from people. I always try to learn from people. I never want to be the smartest person in my circle, in my room, in the conversation, because then you get complacent that way, and you want to be hungry. You want to chase things every day.
What do you think it takes to make money? Because it can't just be hard work, right?
Risk.
Yeah. Risk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even if you're sports betting, even if you're sports betting, you're risking. So I don't sports bet. I just bet on my life. You know what I mean? I bet with my efforts. I bet with my talents. I bet with my abilities. And if it doesn't pan out, if it doesn't turn out, I lost that time, that investment, that money, that stuff I put up for it. You lost it. So now you go back to the drawing board and you risk it again, and you risk it again, and you risk it again, and then you make it.
Yeah. And I feel like ego, right? Getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Because in business, your ego gets stomped out.
You love my tattoos, man. Look, starve the ego, feed the soul.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm all about that, man. That's what it is, because especially all the people that are going to watch this, I was the cockiest kid growing up, dude. You have to be when you grow up the way I grew up. You have to just, I'm better than you at basketball, I'm better than you at football, I got more girls than you, I can rap, I can do everything, you know what I mean? I can do everything under the sun, and I'm cooler than you. And that got me in a lot of trouble in my life. I moved places. It's not Naples anymore. People checking you about some things, people coming to see you, groups of people coming to see you, and it kind of just literally beats the ego out of you. No pun intended about it, because you realize, dude, outside of this little fragment of my imagination and my mind, I'm nobody, and everybody's nobody. You know what I mean? To everybody everybody's important to somebody, but not to everybody. There's nobody that's important to everybody. Mm-hmm. And nobody's ever going to approve of everything that you're doing. Nobody's ever going to support everything that you're doing. So you have to stay consistent and true to that. And one would think that means having an ego and having confidence, but it's really having humility and realizing how small you are and how kind of irrelevant you are, but how blessed you are to have the opportunity to make an impact. So if you make that impact, then you're living outside of your ego. You're letting your soul live its purpose out.
I agree with that. I like that. Yeah, I agree, man. Because I think that ego sometimes gets in the way of opportunity, especially in business. Sometimes you want to, like, if you're negotiating a deal or partnering up with somebody, sometimes you're not in the seat that they're in. Right. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're talking from like a lower standpoint in business. Mm-hmm. And it's good to be aware of that, because if not, you can close opportunities. Absolutely. That can lead, like, it could be a trampoline opportunity, right? Yeah. Like, it just leads you to something else.
Absolutely.
And I think that ego sometimes messes deals up a lot.
Yeah, it does, and it'll cloud your judgment, and it'll change people's perception of you too. They feel that ego, they read it. There's even some people, have you met the people that are so humble that it's from ego? You know what I mean? Like, they're saying how humble they are all day, every day, everywhere they go. And you're like, man, we talked about this already. I know you're humble. You know what I mean? It's either you live it and you're living from humility, or you're talking about it to everybody. And
you can't fake it.
And that's what it is. It's authentic. It's like, bro, I don't want to hear it.
Anything that's extreme, like anybody who talks about things like to an extreme, sometimes it's a little scary.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. I used to think that meant passion, but it don't. Yeah. It means ego.
Like with certain things, I think. Yeah, like ego is one of them. I feel like, and I hate to say this, but like church.
I was gonna say religion.
Or religion. Yeah. Sometimes when somebody's like really, I don't know, man. Like sometimes, like 3 years ago, they weren't into religion, and now they're super.
And that's the part that kind of gives religion in itself a bad name all the time, is because of how kind of judgmental or how outspoken people get right away. So now I was just chilling with you at the bar last week, but I went to church this week, and now I gave my life to Christ, which is awesome. but now I'm telling you how crazy and how wrong and how bad you are off the rip. Instead of just coming around you, loving on you, being your friend, and you noticing a difference.
Exactly.
And then you say, hey, what's up? Why you ain't doing the things you used to do, going the place you used to go? And then now I have an opportunity to share and talk to them. If you're doing it any kind of sooner than that, you're doing that from your ego. You're doing that to stroke yourself for being a good person now. When really that's just in itself is the biggest sin of all, is ego and pride. And pride, one of the things that stuck with me is pride comes before the destruction. Every single time. You prideful, as soon as you feel like you're up, you poke your chest out and you don't give God the thanks, or you don't give people the thanks, whatever you believe in, whatever you accredit it to, that you're going to learn the next week, the next month, the next year, maybe you're going to take a loss. And that loss is stemming from that pride.
I like these quotes you got, man. I'm going to watch that.
I got a note card under here right now.
No, I like
One
it.
by one.
If you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would that be?
Resilient, tough, and I know those sound like the same words, but I'll elaborate in a second, and consistent.
And if you add money to it, would that make you a better person, or?
It'll make me a better person because the goal and the change that I hope to make one day will happen so much faster, so I can do it for so many more people, and I can spend so much less of my day making that money and actually making a difference that way.
So money is really important when you master who you are.
Absolutely, and it's important for me now. As far as me looking at, like we said, 5 years, 10 years, like it has to happen in that. For what my goal is, for what the difference I want to make is, I have to make that young. Yeah. It's not gonna happen when I'm 50. It's not gonna happen.
You need
it's gonna fall on deaf ears though when I'm 50. Growing up, I knew that you listen to somebody who's 50, 55, somebody's dad or a coach or something coming to give you advice, like you're kind of listening, but you're like, man, dude, that's so far down the road. How do you understand? Life was different when you're that age. You talk to somebody that's college age now, and I'm 10 years older than you. You realize how fast 10 years goes by because you remember 10 years ago. So now you're going to listen a little bit closer. I look like you. I talk like you. I walk like you. I listen to what you listen to. I watch what you watch. You can relate to me. I grew up in the same generation as most of those people. So those people that I want to help and make a difference with, I got to do it while I'm young.
Yeah. Shay, you want to end off with you want to read off the question?
Sure.
All right. So anything that you want to touch on before we have some rapid questions, and they're just random. They're fun questions. But anything that you want to mention that maybe we didn't touch on, anything from like your business, advice, or just anything in general?
I want to thank a couple of people if I can while I'm at that. So first and foremost, thank Tatum for being here and supporting me. That's one thing that I can touch on about business is if you don't have the right person in your circle or in your house, you're screwed. Like you have to be what's called equally yoked. And that doesn't just mean religious beliefs or anything. It means like-mindedness. It means same hustle, same drive, same understanding. Every girl I dated before this looked at me like I was freaking crazy all the time. You're broke and you think that way? That's like what the stigma was. It was, they don't see flashy car, Rolex, all these things that rich, quote unquote, people have. So at first it sounds good because they see how bold you are and how courageous you are, but then it turns into that. It turns into spite. It turns into, well, this man's not going to be able to provide for me one day. So it's pressure now, and it's fighting, and it's arguing, and it's makes you less driven and motivated. And now you go to work and you're a shell of yourself and you're running your own business. So a shell of you can't run your business because the real you, the full you is what started that business and what's raised that standard. So having somebody in my life now that understands it all and supports it all and looks at it with the same belief that I do, that's huge. That's important. The next person I would think is my mom because of all the stories we've already shared. Never seeing her break or fold, that's what makes all of this feel so easy. I've gone through so many failures, so many closed doors, and it still never looks as bad as what I watched her go through and the things I watched her deal with. The next person I gotta think is my fighting trainer. I do Muay Thai as of late, little kind of once a week kind of thing, not by any stretch of the imagination trying to be a pro fighter or anything, but what that's done for my mind and my toughness, and it's challenged me in a way that I haven't been challenged in a long time. And that has helped business unlock too. Cause I'm like, dude, if I could push through those sessions when I'm dizzy and seeing stars and falling around, and he's telling me to kick the bag and he's saying there's 2 minutes left. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna die right now. Like, this is it. Those moments I leave there and I'm like, dude, business is so easy and it's exciting. Like, it's fun that I get to do that. Let me put that work and let me grind. So I got to thank him because he's really helped it all come together as well.
What's his name?
His name's Jamie. Jamie Riles Fitness, by the way, if you want to follow him on Instagram and all that stuff. He's a really, really great dude. He's got a psychology degree, kinesiology, all that stuff. He's in his 50s and looks like he's 35. Dude's jacked. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, definitely gonna check him out. Definitely.
Yeah. No, thank you for giving me the time to do that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Okay. So the first question, what digital or software tools do you use daily to make your life easier?
Canva. Shout out to Canva. Canva Pro is worth every dollar too. It's helped me and it's changed everything for me. Once I can afford an assistant, I want them to do something other than Canva so we can get a little more creative. But Canva, when you're doing it all on your own and doing it for yourself, those templates, dog, they save the day, they save the world, you know. But that's kind of the end all be all for me right now. I don't explore any of that stuff because I suck at it. And if I sit there and get frustrated about how I suck at that right now, I'm going to suck at the rest of my stuff. So I need to make sure I lock in. Yeah.
Okay. iPhone or Android?
Okay. It's a weird answer. Android, but I have an iPhone.
What?
Yeah.
I like that answer.
It started, I think it was 2013 or 15, something. This HTC phone came out.
You said you said Android, but you have it.
I have an iPhone, exactly. So an Android came out, and I was so excited because the camera was sick, dude. I touched it, I felt it. The music was better, everything looked better, it sounded better, everything. I bought it. I was so excited. I'm like, man, I don't need an iPhone. Look at everybody. And I promise you, clients had a problem with my messages being green.
Yeah.
Like
that's so true.
Like emojis and weird stuff. I'm like, man, like I don't even send emojis. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why does it matter what emojis show up?
Message.
Like,
It's not even about the emojis.
care.
Like, God forbid you need a group chat.
No,
it messes stuff up if you're an Android and everyone else is an iPhone.
That's the crazy thing. People get mad at green people, man.
That's a marketing strategy.
Yeah. No, it really is genius because like I had to go back. I was sick of hearing from everybody. Yeah, man. Like, and I complain every day about how I hate my iPhone and I'm never getting off my iPhone. You know what I'm saying? So that's, I mean, now that I say that out loud, that's kind of weakness on my part.
Yeah, now
we'll cut that part out.
Yeah, when you see the green message, you think that
there's no signal.
message that
You're poor. I don't know why people think that. That's what people say. I'm like, no, Android, it's just the same. It's expensive. It's nice. It's everything. But shout out to Steve Jobs, bro. When he was on Earth, that's what he did. He made sure, and that's where it comes with, like you guys said, branding.
Yeah.
It is branding, bro. That Apple, it's forever.
The worst thing is like when you're creating a group thread, a text message, and you know everything is blue, and then you get to the last person and it's green, and it makes the whole thing green.
Yeah. And
it's just kind of bad because we have a bunch of.
You know what sucks with that too, and I didn't notice this until not to clown on my mom, but she's one of those people that just rocks with whatever phone's out. You know what I'm saying? She don't care about iPhones. She don't care about none of that. So when we're in a group message with my sisters and her, if she or basically it's us. So if the iPhones, you know, you can like a message or emphasize.
Yeah.
Since she's in the group, it sends you a text that says that written all out. Like my sister Jordan liked this message, and like you don't see the message. It just says the whole text. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, this sucks. Like you got to get out of this group.
We have groups with all of our clients, and whenever they don't have an iPhone, we're like, we can't even
because you can't name the group. You can't add a photo of their logo or something like to stay organized. All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it that deep. That sucks.
Okay. If you can only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Am I trying to live forever too, or just in general?
Whatever you
I would
like.
eat Sour Patch Kids for the rest of my life. If I had to pick one, yeah, absolutely. If I just took a serving size or two of those every meal, I'd be straight. I'd make it work.
Do you prefer winter or summer?
I prefer summer if it's not in Naples, and I prefer winter in Naples.
What is your favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving, for sure.
Do you prefer to relax at the beach or the pool?
The beach. I did both, actually. We went out of town for Valentine's Day. We just got back, actually drove from Marco right now. And we had the pool yesterday, the beach today, and I made up my mind, beach for sure.
Fifth Ave or Mercado?
For what? To go out?
Whatever.
To go have a good time?
Whatever
Mercado,
you like to
absolutely. No, Mercado. Shout out to everybody on Fifth, though. I know a lot of the restaurant owners and the people that do stuff at night, and they're awesome. They're great. It's just not my vibe. It's a lot of people wishing it was like a big city vibe, you know what I'm saying? And kind of looking down on each other and doing all this like side eye and stuff. But then you go to Mercado and it's a bunch of random people you never met, and everybody's got bottles and tables going everywhere, and everybody's having a good time. So that's more my vibe. And actually, when my friends come down that play for the Jets in New York, they come down, and that's the first place they ask to go was Blue Martini. So Fifth Ave, I've got to step it up, I guess.
If you could only work 2 hours a week, what would you do in those 2 hours?
Habitat for Humanity. I'd build houses with people.
A book you'd recommend to read?
The Alchemist. That one's the easiest question that you asked, for sure. If you haven't read The Alchemist, you have to read The Alchemist. And I'm not even going to try to like sway you or tell you why or anything. You're just going to know, your soul's going to feel it, and you're going to understand the book completely from front to back.
If you could have lunch with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
That's tough because my cousin passed away when I was a freshman. So that's my answer, is my cousin. That's my only person I ever looked up to. But the Instagram answer is Nipsey Hussle. That was the most influential person to me. Artist, philanthropist, kind of the same vision and same dreams that I have. What's your
favorite restaurant in Naples?
Angelo's Southern Grill and the Hangout Naples is a dead tie.
Where the heck is Angelo's?
Girl,
I know, from here. Where's that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So people take it the wrong way. I started for a little bit to market myself as the king of Naples, and people got so pissed about it. They're like, he's so cocky. But like, you know, when you read the Bible, you read anything, it's the king of Jerusalem, the king of this. It's like everybody's a king. It's like, you're a king, I'm a king, he's a king. We all could be kings. It's not just one king. I didn't say like I'm the end all be all, the dictator of Naples or anything. It's the king. And just because of knowing the ins and outs, knowing the place where you can go to the car wash and get tacos, stuff like that. You go sit in the picnic table out back, and she brings you out the tacos that you can only order from a text message and stuff like that. Like, you don't know that stuff unless you're born and raised down here. You know what I mean? So Angelo's is one of those places. It's on
Where's that at?
41, right there in Pelican Bay. It used to be Lulubee's, I think, was there before. It's a really cool Albanian family, and their menu is so long and extensive, and it's so freaking fire all the time. Like, every time I go there, I try to order something different so that I can find something that I tell my friends, like, oh, don't order this, it sucks. But there's nothing at all.
It's on 41, right?
Yeah. On 41, just past Vanderbilt.
Yeah. We have to go.
We never been, but we got to check it out.
Go for sure. For sure. I promise.
When you think of the word successful, who comes to mind?
My mom. And I'd probably be the only person in the world that says that. But that's my definition of success for sure.
If you can choose any other career path, what would it be?
Try not to be cliche and say nothing, that I love what I do and that I love where I'm at. But if I'd be an architect, that was the only thing I ever thought about doing that wasn't what I do now as a kid. It was like 3rd or 4th grade or something like that. And I started looking into what it was and how they did it. Which I guess, in a sense, I'm an architect, the way I build bodies and get people together that way. So it's a different approach, but I guess I ended up doing what I wanted to do.
What's been your best investment?
My relationship. It's been my best investment. That, especially with how many failed ones I've had, it took a lot for me to let my guard down and let me get back into that state where you trust somebody and when you can look at a future with somebody. But for some reason, and it's a good reason. It's like, that's the one thing in the world that we all have in common is love. Like, you find somebody that you love, that you're passionate about, and everything else feels easier, and everything else you could feel more passionate about. And it helps kind of bring you and make you whole. Like, if people say you're a missing piece, I don't like to say that because I feel like I'm whole in myself, but she's an addition to that whole, and she's a whole on her own too. So that's important to be in a relationship like that.
What do you think was the problem in relationships? Doubt,
not having conversations. That's the one thing I love about her too. If I'm tripping, she's gonna check me for sure right away. That you make me feel like this, and when you hear that, especially as a guy, a lot of times you don't understand why they feel that way or why they would, what you did to make them feel that way. But you can't change the fact they feel that way. So you got to listen to them. You got to hear it, and 99% of the time you could fix it pretty easily too. But if you don't fix it, then it festers and it grows. And that's the unfortunate part about my job is I hear from the women that I train all day about how terrible their marriage is, the relationship, the divorces that they all go through, the crazy court battles and all that. And I thank God every single time that I don't have to deal with any of that.
Yeah. What's a bad piece of advice you've heard people telling others?
Crypto. I'm playing. Because people that
He's a crypto guy, right?
But that's why I was just gonna say, like I say that as a joke. One of my closest friends kills it with crypto, and he does so well. But it was that trend of the people that are under investigation right now. A lot of people that do a lot of weird, shady stuff with that kind of stuff. So I have a lot of friends that lost thousands and thousands and thousands off of people like that. So
You heard
I say
of
that very jokingly.
Ethereum Max?
Yeah. So that's what he's
the one?
exactly. Laz is his name. Shout out to Laz. That boy was telling me about crypto. I promised to God in 2016, and I'm like, dude, shut up. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, can we just sit here and chill? Why are you talking? It's like, nah, man. Like, you gotta invest in this. And I'm like, dude,
People get
like,
obsessed.
dude, I have $30 right now. I'm not investing in no coins, bro. This is my $30 that I'm holding down right now. So that's the worst kind of piece of advice that people give is you gotta make money while you're young. Being young is all about messing up and about going through life and learning, and making money is gonna come. You can always tap out of the journey or tap out of the grind and go get a job. You can always do it. It's always gonna be somebody hiring. And if you're willing to humble yourself and go take whatever job's available, then yeah, it's gonna be there. I worked at a massage place and I started selling massage memberships because I had knee surgery and I couldn't work out and couldn't do anything. I had to make some money. And within months, I was the night shift manager. Within the year, I was the sales associate of the year. Within that next year, I hit my first ever pay percentage at 100% sales, never missed a sale type of thing. And I knew I was never going to be a massage therapist or own a massage clinic or anything. But that drive that kicked in right there, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm making money, but also I'm learning sales, learning how to be successful, and I'm rising to the top. The cream rises to the top always. So that gives you that motivation and encouragement too to get back on your grind.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Rick, man,
Just
thank you.
No, hold on. Just to just to be on the same page. I put a little bit of money into crypto.
Oh, he's going
But,
to explain.
But that's good because I need to hear from good people. I need to hear from smart
But
people.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Okay.
He does it for fun. He does it for fun.
We got in on Ethereum Max.
Yep.
Like a lot of people.
Super early.
Yep.
Okay, and then we got in, and it was our brother-in-law who got us into it, and he got in even before we did. So like, his thing skyrocketed. Everybody shot up.
Yep.
And I didn't even know how to pull out the money.
Yep.
But I wanted to,
And nobody would tell him.
That's the first thing I learned. I was like, teach me how to pull it out.
I didn't know how we put in the money
Yep.
because they did it like for my account.
Yep.
And then when I saw it, bro, it took off, right? I think we put in I put in like $1,000. It went up to like 30 grand in like 5 days, something like that.
Yeah.
And we were going to New York, and I was on the plane, and I was in the group chat. I'm like, how do I take the money out, right?
Nobody would tell him.
Nobody would tell me how to take the money because they wanted to
him
wait.
to
Right.
hold.
Yeah. They wanted you to hold. Right.
The next day, it was like $500.
Yep. And
I took it out.
I downloaded.
Like you went to 12,000. I took it out.
It was right around COVID time because then I have a friend named Ace that he's the car salesman guy, but like legit car salesman. You know what I'm saying? Like he loves selling cars. He does everything every day. He moved up to Sebring, Florida because there's a bigger dealership up there to work at and do all that. He came to my porch in 2020 and he said, "Hey man, you got to download Robinhood and you got to get this coin called Altamune, it was called, or you got to get stocks in Altamune," whatever he said. And for him to say it, he's not going to take no blind risk or no crazy risk, you know. So it was at that time. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll download it. I got it. He's like, yeah, I put $20 into it or whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll put $100. put it on, watched it. Altimmune is one of the companies that helped make the vaccines and everything that started to come later that year. This was the beginning of 2020. Mm-hmm. So I kind of forgot about Robinhood for a while, saw it going up. And then it just flatlined for like 6 months. And I was like, okay, the pandemic's starting to end. This coin can't go anywhere, go any higher or do anything. So Kanye West left Yeezy and went to Gap. So I took all of it out and put it on Gap. I was like, oh, Gap's about to boom, you know? I think I know better. Gap ends up falling out with Yeezy. It goes back down, so I pull all my money out. For craps and giggles, a year later, I go back on and check what Altimmune would have been, bro. It would have been up like $100,000.
Oh
easily,
my God.
Easily. Yeah. I was looking at that. I was like, okay, I'm never doing that again because I'm not going to fail that hard at something like that again. Like, that was crazy. It was all about instinct and what I felt like. I was like, oh, yeah, I got this now. Nah, so I advise anybody to get with a professional about whatever they're about to do. Go learn from somebody that knows how to do it.
It's all instincts for sure.
Yeah, and that's what it felt like.
And there's a lot of people doing Bitcoin, and sometimes they think they know what they're doing.
Yep.
There's people that do know, but the majority,
It's just
they're
luck.
just gambling.
Yeah.
And like, I don't put a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
I put a little bit long time ago, and it kept growing.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You know, but if I lose it, like, I know that I'm gonna lose it because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't come from a feeling of like, oh man, I gave it my all and it fell apart kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's like sports betting now. Everybody's a freaking sports betting expert, and they're like, oh, send me $30, I'll send you my 5 picks. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I'm like, they posting that they won and that they this. You don't realize they're posting the same spread every single time that they won, and they lose every single time. And I'm like, dude, you know, there's better ways to take risk. Put it that way.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Well, Rick, man, thank you for your time today.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
I'm sure
Nice to
we'll
meet
do
you
something
guys.
together, maybe
absolutely.
something else.
Yeah,
another pod
100%.
down the line. But thank you, man. Thank you for your
Thank
time
you.
today.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.